Hello and welcome to a new Let's Play. This is Let's Play Windows Photo Viewer. No, it's not. It's gonna be Katawa Shoujo, but don't know what route to go with first, so we're doing this the old-fashioned way that I've done it multiple times before, where we're like, we're gonna scroll through like this, and wherever it lands on, we get it. So there's like, she's got a route, she's got a route, she's got a route, she's got a route, she's got a route. He apparently has like a bad ending of some sort in Act 1. I've never seen it, but it sounds interesting, so it's going to be included. I'm going to try to get all the scenes. As I said, the end of my Go-Go Nippon 2015 edition LP, I've actually played Katawa Shoujo before, but I had never really got through all the routes, so I've gotten through her route, although also of note is I haven't like done the bad endings and all that and neutral endings before, so I'll try doing that as well. So I've seen her good ending. It's the first route that I ended up getting, really, because I don't know, seemed to focus more on her through my first playthrough of it. I haven't actually gone through her route yet. I've gone through Rin's route. I sort of went for her route, but I remember that was the last route that I played, and I only got partway through it before it was just like, I can't be asked. So we'll get to that as well, of course. And I haven't got a clue with this. I just remember him being a bit on the what the heck are you even talking about kind of side. So without further delay, let's do this without clicking on that, because it just gives off that kind of, click. Click, 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 which is a bit annoying. Also notice, like, I got, like, the images, like, I just put them into a folder, but I got them from the Wikipedia page of Katawa Shoujo, and look at that, it's like, everyone's got character at the start, and then suddenly, just like Kenji, you don't get the character bit at the start there, I don't know why. Also, he's got a bigger image, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. Eyes closed, 3, 2, 1, let's go. What will it land on? What will it land on? On the next chirp, it will stop. Waiting. Birdie? You got a chirp? This is probably good. There we go. Okay, Emmy. It was totally moving the whole time. I can never be too sure, because I had the eyes closed the whole time. So we're going with Emmy's route. It goes right back to the start here. Oh, I remember Emmy's route. It's, well, I remember bits and pieces of it, but I remember her versions of those scenes. And man, her freaking personality, when leading into those scenes, is just like, whoa, Emmy, what the hell's going on with your personality all of a sudden? Just like, whoa, what the hell? But anyways, time to load up Katawa Shoujo. We're going with Emmy's route. So, a moment. There we go. Oh, that was weird. I was loading it up and I wanted it to like record the second it starts up, but the freaking window kept changing like where it appeared. I was just like, God damn it, stay within the recording space. So it looks like I haven't actually played this. It mustn't be my original save. I got it like on USB here, so I don't know. I could have, if that's the case, I might as well have just re-downloaded it. It's freeware essentially, which is really quite amazing considering like how much effort has clearly been put into this novel. So, we don't get any of the L options, which I guess it's fitting for it to be a fresh start, I suppose, if it's gonna be an LP, because, like, I'd played through some routes, so they'd have, like, these kind of photograph images kind of down here, and there'd be other options, of course. This music is beautiful. I used to be able to play it, but I can't remember how it went. And don't worry, I haven't got my guitar near me, so we're just starting this. I should probably switch to full screen modes at some point. I also really like this music as well. I remember ages ago, I was like, you know what, I want to play this on my keyboard. And I was like, But damn it, I can't find a MIDI file for it so I can use Synthesia to kind of see where the notes are. And I think they also had like its own game tabs as well. A tab for it. I think this one has a tab there. I think the composer actually like released actual tabs to that site. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off subject here like I always do. Also, Happy New Year and all that before I forget. I'm recording this in the afternoon of the New Year. I slept through the morning because I was like fatigued from like days of editing for the Happy New Year montage for my main channel, which has like clips from Duck Up 2 and Go Go Nippon in there as well from this channel. And it's like 53 minutes long, and it's like, wow. And all the music is like played by me, just like various kind of improv mixed in with my own melodies and mixed in with game melodies. Like the Duck Up 2 and Go No Nippon, I kind of like use that as a kind of reference for it to kind of like play to, but you get the idea, maybe, if you've actually seen the video. So that took a lot out of me, so like, I was like uploaded that at midnight, and I was like, okay, and I didn't realize the file was like 3 gigabytes. I was like, holy shit. So it took like 2 hours to upload. And then after that I was like, I'm going to bed, man, I'm freaking knackered. So it's just like, that's how I spent the New Year. Just like, Happy New Year. Okay, upload it. It's just like, yeah, no partying or anything, just an upload. But anyways, a light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like a wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The already coming across a word I'm not overly familiar with enough to pronounce. Trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now in late winter it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. Wherever I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. Also, like, when we go through other playthroughs, I'll probably skip scenes like this, so yeah, make the most of it here, you know, just like focus. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letters in a locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. Oh wait. Oh, it's... yeah, this visual novel is a bit different. I was like, okay, switch from like using the freaking left kind of click there and use the enter bar, and it's like, oh no, this one uses a space bar. Usually using space in all visual novels kind of like hides the text kind of bar thing there, but not this time. It's actually used to advance. So I ponder the meaning of the note. The snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. You know, this kind of reminds me of the intro to Duck Up 2, where it's like kind of just like a tree in the background and you just like, what is even going on here? Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time is slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me. Interrupting the quiet mood, someone is approaching me from behind. Hi, so, you came? A hesitating, barely audible voice, no question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice, a bird, I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. The first interruption of the new year? That didn't take long, did it? I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. I can't see your face, but I can see mine. I've got that antenna thing going on. My head looks like an apple. But, hey, wherever. Yamaku, I got a note tell me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result. Oh, I know that feeling, man. When you just, my mind does that a lot. It's like, oh yes, got all these things I could say, and then once it comes down to saying it, derp, 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 derp. And did I mention derp? Because, like, I'd have all these ideas. It's like my mind is, like, kind of rehearsing stuff. It's like, yes, yes, got an essay worth of brilliant things to say, and then when it comes out, hi. It's just like, damn it. I'm like that with social situations as well, like saying hello and saying goodbye. I'm crap at that, so it kind of like, with me it's always kind of mumbled. Especially with things like thanks as well. It's like, yeah, thanks. It's kind of mumbled. It's like, no thanks. I don't know why. That's a social anxiety, I guess. Oh, damn it, I keep forgetting. It's a spacebar. Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. When suddenly, the plot was around the corner. My heart is pounding now as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. The music stopped. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. God damn it, another word I'm not familiar with. Cacophonous noises. Music to my ears. Yamaku flinches ever so softly against a gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there motionless save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. How? I reach up to try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. How? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. How? The beating in my chest suddenly stops and I go weak at the knees. That voice acting is just so bad, I can't even focus on the plot. The whole world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Yamaku running towards me, all these fade to black. The last things I remember for slipping away are the sounds of Yamaku screaming for help and the insistent clatter of the branches above. Or whatever. Chip. Katawa Shoujo. Chip is alive. Chip. Inspiration. Oh yeah, I remember, like, you're Anonymous 22. Well, I suppose you wanted to be anonymous. Blue 123, so I don't know. They're going with, I don't know, kind of. Didn't they do that in old games a lot, didn't they? It's like, you know what, instead of putting on names on the credits, let's just like put a nickname or like a kind of like something like that, you know? This actually has animations in it. I mean, it's legit. And yet it's freeware. I mean, holy shit. Delta. Right here, the inspiration for it was kind of a bit random, but I can't quite remember how it went. Jesus Christ, birds. As if the whole New Year video where you chirp like a mad bird wasn't bad enough. You know, the funny thing is, like, the New Year video, I'm kind of getting way off subject, but that's still on my mind. I mean, it's pretty recent for me, you know? And, like, it took till, like, the last bit of the guitar recording where it's like, you know what, sod this shit, I'm going downstairs to record. And then, like, it was the most chaotic morning ever. Like, I had interruptions, I had to move my amp, my effects pedal, my laptop, everything had to go downstairs, and it's just like all chaos. One of our house cats got out, or so I thought, so I was like looking around the block. Turns out it was in the house all the time. Just like, come on. And as I'm moving stuff, it's like, can you... My mother's just like, can you get Dylan, who's my nephew, just like... something from the fridge and be like, oh, god damn it, why am I being, like, told to do this and that while I'm just trying to do this damn recording? By the time I was, like, finally, like, sat down to actually record that, I was like, oh, man, I've got no energy, how the hell am I gonna manage it? And so just went with it at that point. So, like, that's why the later portion of the montage didn't have nearly as much chirping, because the bird wasn't present at the time. And you know what? It was also out of consideration, bird, for your poor ears. How ironic is that? It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Well, that certainly escalated. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia, his eyes pronounced. A strange word, a foreign, alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition, it causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better and more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I suppose that's one thing about it, isn't it? It's like, the longer time passes, the less, like, interest people will have. They'll just kind of lose interest and just, like, stop kind of visiting as often. That kind of sucks. I realized that the only reason that I'd gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Ah, well, there is that as well. That's even more of a, well, gee, thanks. Maybe some people were generally concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Yamaku was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch a subject that was between us on the snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I like to live in. Don't think it's a place anyone would, really. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they are in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. Never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I've still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling Wait, I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. They became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. At all times, all the things that surround me would painfully crash into my consciousness, although the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the books aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. You know what? Options. Because this is just me. Whoa. No wonder why. The freaking music was at full volume. Jeez. I thought it was a bit loud. Hey, it even says the name of the track. Oh, and the scene. Bundle of a sow. Cage heart. Well, it certainly does give that kind of caged feel to it, doesn't it? It's just like... It's not a very happy sounding track. But it's not like just like an ordinary sad track. It's more like it gives you... It's like really like giving like more life to music by like wording that way, really, isn't it? Where it's like the music is like trapping you, just like it says, isn't it? It's like claustrophobia kind of sets in kind of thing. It's just a kind of unnerving kind of piece. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make it happen to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I'd last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Sal. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out. I'll give you all the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. Dizziness, diarrhea, erectile dysfunction, 10 liters a day. Whoa, you're getting out of hand here. Are these like the... Obviously some of those are side effects. May cause dizziness, diarrhea. Is that anxiety? I'm not sure because it's kind of got a lot of things going over there. A lot of medications tend to have typical kind of side effects like that, like dizziness and yeah. Whoa, it's gonna be harder to read that now. I should have just kept reading. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindications and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it, attempting to only make me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day? You know, honestly, it's kind of a bit random, but my mother, like, has arthritis, and, like, the amount of, like, stuff she has to take for it is kind of, like, puts this in a kind of new light for me, because, like, really is quite a lot of shit, you know? I mean, that must really be just, like, I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade away over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents and we believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Asao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Wherever all my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. Looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and, well, it's not the same one. A special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All of the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what disability is. I really hate that something so important was assigned for me. What can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny, I'd always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest, I want to blame the lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know now it's futile. I look around the room feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice, I know this. But the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean state isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. New year, new me. Just, whatever. I just, the reason I didn't LP this before the end of the year was because, I don't know, was too busy, I suppose, but new year now, so, yeah, fresh start. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. Act 1, life expectancy. Yo, what he mentioned about the homeschool thing, that was technically me in a way. Because of my anxiety when I was younger, I end up a teacher would come to my house and kind of teach me for a few hours each weekday and stuff like that. So it's kind of yeah. And as for in terms of disability, I do actually, I've mentioned before, I have got a missing finger on my left hand, and one of my fingers on my left hand is like permanently slightly bent forward a bit. So, well, don't really know what else to say to that, because like, I suppose seeing the advantage of it is, it makes a very useful picking hand with the guitar. But as for the piano though, it's like, left hand arpeggios, I hate whenever I see them in a song that I want to play, because it's just like, it's impossible for my left hand to keep up with that. And playing chords on the piano, is like, using my first finger is just like, no, it just kind of feels awkward using that one, so I kind of rely on my thumb and my middle finger and would it be the ring finger? I don't have a pinky on my left hand, essentially. So yeah, that's... Well, anyways, let's get on with it. I think this is actually like they use actual backgrounds, although they look like they kind of been painted a bit as well. Maybe, or maybe posterized, I'm not sure. But it looks like some effects being added to it. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. The music even indicates as such, like, it's pompous and fancy. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and grey plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it at a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy. With this brisk pace, I'm alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms. No, I can't quite sing along to that one. And there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all park-like things. Honestly, it doesn't really look like a school to me. It looks more like some kind of, Actually, that's kind of appropriate, isn't it? This thought, like, one thought that came to mind is, kind of looks like some kind of hospital, and you're like, well, it is partially in a way, isn't it? Yeah, I read that. Or did I? It doesn't feel like... Yeah. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. Well, that's an optimistic way of saying it, I suppose. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told that this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me wonder that perhaps the music is still too loud, because it just feels that way. Now that feels a little too quiet to have it there. It makes me think about hospital gowns, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So, why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? You're not gonna have an operation on the school grounds. Well, not like outside of it. Maybe on the inside, if needed. Maybe. Well, no, they'd probably go to the actual hospital for that. Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate followed me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with the realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. Ah, you must be Niki. Nakai. Ah, so you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. If that's, how it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm wrong. My eyes look a bit, odd, but don't mind me. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is now a firm no sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Allow me to check the walkthrough for, like, what choice I have to make first, because there'll be a choice coming soon. So a moment. You know, actually, is that choice even in the walkthrough? I think the walkthrough just covers important choices, actually. So maybe we might actually go through some of these scenes again without, like, just speeding through them, you know? Because, like, maybe there'd be other choices we could make. Waiting for me, I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. As well as that would be, like, I've never actually been, like, you know, in a situation where you get transferred from one school to another, so I can't, and, like, I'm agreeing with him there. Center of attention, no. It makes you feel awkward and uncomfortable. It's like, when I was in school, I remember, because I'd be kind of stone-faced in a way, like, not really show all that many emotions, so, like, sometimes people would try to make me laugh to, like, actually get me to show emotion, so that's when it'd, like, be, like, center of attention and it'd feel really awkward. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Wait. I suppose we'll go with why at some point, but all the walkthrough says is yeah, of course, every single time. Yeah, but of course. So, maybe why is only for completion's sake. So, that's actually what I did on my first playthrough, I think, just like, why? I was kind of doing it in a kind of like, how would I be in the situation? I'd be like, why? It's like, because, well, that tends to be how it goes, but I'd be like, but, social anxiety, man. I don't want to just do it, man. I'll feel, like, uncomfortable. But, yeah, of course. Yeah, sure, I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Widow opens the door and enters. That painting. Seriously, that painting. There's got a lot of these type of paintings in the backgrounds where you're just like, what is with that painting there? Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point trying to worry so much about it. At least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. Let's have a look around. This is a kind of, I think she's like a side minor character of sorts, because she does actually appear a few times. She hasn't got a hand. I think she's one of the characters that people are like, why didn't she get a route, man? Because she doesn't have a route. But yeah, when you look at most of these, you just like can't really guess what their disability actually is. It's like they say, isn't it? Not all disabilities are visible. I mean, with that one, it's like obvious. That one seems obvious. This one is actually one of the main characters, and it's only partially kind of obvious. I don't know. For everyone else, just kind of like you can't really tell. But it's gonna scroll to the side, so it'll show some more in a second. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high, and there's a lot of space left over around and in between the desks. The entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look... Interruption, I have food, so let's make our introduction and get the hell out of here. That's how I'd think as well. It's like, okay, just introduce yourself and sit the fuck down. I stop walking in front of the classroom. They all look normal, like students in any other school, but then why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them. It's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Well, I got a missing finger on my left hand, but it's not the thumb. But it's still a missing finger nonetheless. So, you know, I could, like, I wonder if any of the students here, like, have, like, a similar problem with me, like, social anxiety. Wait, I think, yeah, she's also got a missing arm, hasn't she? Well, she's got a missing hand, she's got a missing arm. These ones don't seem obvious. This one is one of the main characters, and I'm not gonna spoil what disability she has. I'm not sure what disability she has, but she's kind of a main-ish character. They're always two together, but she doesn't actually have a route for some reason. And for some reason, this guy in the back here, anytime I see him, I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. It can't just be me, but Peter Griffin comes to mind for some reason. Yeah. Let's move on here. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. Notice a flash of dark hair and that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. That was the girl that was hiding her face that he was talking about. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motion, sign language. She peers at me over the rim of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. Yeah, kinda makes it blatantly obvious now, doesn't it? She's kinda cute, so is the cheery looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. It pretty stands out, doesn't it? Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for the applause I did not receive. Well, actually, the girl that has a missing hand could technically still clap, sort of. It'd kind of just be like, yeah. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know how to say that. The collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So I'm Sao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is acting like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. End up saying nothing and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied even with that, with what little I said. Now, actually, I think, like, if you say why, I think he might actually, like, say something bizarre instead. Like, I can't really remember. It's been a long time. But anyways, though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me, it could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along with letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged thumb. Makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She is the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? Well, there's a twist to that, Mito, that you don't explain to him about the class rep. How can I know? The teacher passes out today's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Man, that was a bit of a Yandere-chan laugh there. That was not the cheerful... I don't know how to do a cheerful, girly laugh. Come on, I've got to do all the voice acting here, man. It's not like I'm going to be able to freaking do it properly. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. I mean, what the hell was that? It's nice to meet you too. But I'm not Hakamichi, I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once, nonchalantly, to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I started to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better explain things to you? I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says, it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today so soon. Shi-chan, right? Shi-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits, you look just like I imagined. You know, kind of average looking, but at least you don't have like the typical black hair protagonist kind of look. You look a little different, a little unique. You look like an apple. Stop cutting down my hair like it looked like an apple, damn it! Yeah, you look just like a He-chan. I wonder why everyone seems so peaceful. Hakamichi taps her finger on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. You like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you hadn't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with a hard word of it, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Well, my speech is like pretty terrible, isn't it? So it all stands out. Thanks, that'd be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can where you're going before you go there, not just with school either. Always, even if it's a trip to a convenience store. Really, Shi-chan. Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? Seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat, both of them are smiling, but the shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. Look down, are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. That's well, it's perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed at a test. What are you, like Mr. Squash's cousin or something? Alright, I suppose. And another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep, Shizune is fine. Okay, that'll be a lot easier for me. At least I can pronounce it, I think. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Alright, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. Well, Shi-chan, Shizune, we'll get to work next time, because I've got food. Food comes first. So I'll see you next time, viewers. So, also, hope you enjoy this new LP and all that. Happy New Year, all that jazz. Drill hair, glasses. Peace out. See you next time, viewers. See you next time.